Good morning. We're just going to give folks a moment to enter from the waiting room and connect to audio so that they can hear us. As a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are speaking or presenting in front of the board. Give just another moment to clear the waiting room. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman of the Board, Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm Chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I'm joined by Commissioners Kiana Saxon and Commissioner Liam Curran.
Thank you. And once again, as a reminder, please do remain on mute unless or until you are appearing or testifying before the board. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You will then make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chair and commissioners. Following questions, there will be an opportunity for testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Please limit your testimony to 2 minutes, and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. Begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 1, Sodexo Operations LLC, doing business as Starbucks, located at 625 Huntington Ave. Has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above coffee bar with single countertop point of service located on the main floor of the Mass Art Kennedy building. 2 storage facilities, one attached to the location, another located in the lower level of the Kennedy building. All food preparation will occur within the coffee bar allotted space of 511 square feet. Manager Christina Campbell, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Christina Campbell.
Great, thank you for joining us, Ms. Campbell. If you could please briefly present your proposal to the board.
So apologies, I'm been a little crazy. So I would like to be granted a common victular license to, I have a temporary currently, but get a permanent one for the year for my licensed Starbucks location that services students from Mass Art, Mass Pharmacy, and Wentworth Institute of Technology, as well as the general public. They are welcome to order via the Starbucks app, as well as in person. As stated on the application, it is a single service coffee bar that is to go only. There is on the floor just a general seating area, as it's kind of like the student union, with some offices and classrooms that are also in the building. All food is prepared in the space with the 2 storage facilities. There was a note about the hours of operation. I just want to call out that it is 7 to 8:30 Monday through Friday, and then Saturday is 8 to 2.
Thank you for that. We'll see if there are any questions from the board. Chairwoman Joyce, any questions?
Thank you for joining us, Christina. I have no questions at this time.
No questions for me.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 2, which will be called together with item number 25 as they concern the same licensee. Matsunori Inc. doing business as Matsunori Hand Roll Bar located at 900 Beacon Street. Holder of a common victualler license has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from in one room on the first floor with kitchen and storage in rear to 900 Beacon Street, Unit A, Boston, in one room on the first floor with kitchen and storage in rear. Additionally, includes an annual outdoor patio located on private property. Seating for 20 with a closing hour of 10 p.m. Secondly, has applied for a BYOB, bring your own bottle license to be exercised on the above inside premise. And item number 25 is the same licensee applying for the BYOB license to be exercised on the above in one room on the first floor with kitchen and storage in rear. Manager Kisya Kim, hours of operation 11 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Who's present on behalf of the applicant? Oh, sorry, Mr. Kim, I see you. You're on mute right now. Just going to ask you to unmute.
Oh, yes, sir. This is Kisa Kim. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us. If you could please briefly present your proposal to the board.
Yes, sir. We are currently running a Hendro Bar restaurant in Beacon Street. We only open for dinner for now, so we try to get BYOB license with the patio area for the future. So we just got the layout from the architect, and then there's gonna be max 16 seats at the patio area. And then we're not gonna offer any BYOB outdoor, only indoor for indoor customers. And then most likely we're thinking we're doing BYOB for like private party, only for big group, indoor. Yeah, that's all about it. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. We'll see if there are any questions from the board. Chairwoman Joyce, any questions for the applicant?
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Thanks for joining us. I may have missed it, but inside, how many seats do you have?
So occupancy is a max 29. Currently we have 26.
Okay. And just to make sure I got it clear on the record, you would only be doing BYOB on certain occasions. It wouldn't be all the time.
So yes, so ultimate goal for the future is getting our own liquor license. But for now, we're getting BYOB as like a marketing purpose. And then whoever wants to do like private party, like basically rent a whole restaurant, we're trying to use the BYOB for the like big party.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then the patio, you're still in the process of getting that approved through inspectional services?
Yes, they said that it's gonna take 1 week to review. I got the like a permit number if you need that.
That's okay. If we do, we'll follow up with them directly. I appreciate that. I don't have any other questions at this time. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
No questions from me. Thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on these matters, number 2 and number 25, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, hello, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Maggie Van Scoy from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We'd like to defer to the judgment of the board at this time. We held an abutters meeting for the BYOB portion of this application on August 8th. There were no concerns raised about the BYOB at that time. We've also been in contact. We also know that the applicant has been in contact with the Audubon Circle Neighborhood Association, who has some concerns about the operations of the restaurant, but not necessarily about the BYOB or the patio. And our office is unaware of any concerns about those two items at this time. I know that some representatives from ACNA are on the call to speak more about the operations.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? I see a hand raised from Dolly Bogdanian. I'm going to ask you to unmute and you may please provide your testimony. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is actually Dolores Bogdanian. I live at 452 Park Drive. I'm currently president of the Audubon Circle Neighborhood Association, and the association submitted a letter in support of Matsunori in January when it applied for the CB license. I'm here because as an individual, our board did not have a chance to convene prior to this hearing. Just to reiterate our requests regarding deliveries to the store being from the rear, and that the restaurant would not offer, third-party DoorDash-like deliveries for its patrons. And we asked for these things and discussed them with the applicant. because we're concerned about double parking on Beacon Street, which is a very busy thoroughfare. There's limited parking, there's a bike lane, there's no access to the curb. And at that time, we had these discussions. There was no concerns on the part of the applicant. They said they have a loading dock to the rear, and they had no intention of offering third-party delivery services for its patrons. Since then, there's been, since these conditions weren't included in the licensing board's decision as important conditions to the license, I asked for a separate agreement and the applicant declined. So we're concerned that, in fact, they are planning to have deliveries for their patrons, and it would be during the dinner hour, which is the rush hour. And to the extent there is a loading dock in the rear, I'm not sure why they were reluctant to commit to having deliveries to the rear. And also we had hoped that they would commit to deliveries at the rear during daylight hours so as not to disrupt the upstairs residents, because 900 Beacon Street is a residential building with commercial on the ground level and abutting buildings. They said that's fine because they only have deliveries during the day, but again, wouldn't commit to it in writing. So I'm expressing these concerns because we raised them on behalf of the public and the public convenience. And I also just want to say that according to Article 12 or Section 12, subsection 1, eligibility for BYOB does not include the Fenway neighborhood. We're in the Fenway neighborhood. We are not in the Fenway zoning district, but the language of the rules and regulations are Fenway neighborhoods. The Back Bay, it's not zoning just based on zoning district, it's based on neighborhood. So those are my comments, and I hope that the board will take them into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bogdanian. Anything further from the board?
Yes, so are you planning on having third-party deliveries, Mr. Kim?
For the future, yes.
Okay, we need to have a written plan submitted to us in BTD. This is something that's going on in other parts of our city, and Boston Transportation has expressed concern and they would like to be involved in those written plans. So we need to have a written plan from you about third-party deliveries, what you're going to do about double parking, how people are going to leave their cars idling when they go in to get the food. So that will have to be submitted to the board.
Yes, ma'am. But can I get a sample of the same letter from our next door business? Because this is my first time, so I just want to know how to write it properly.
What do you mean? That people next door have do third-party deliveries?
Yes, ma'am. Shimio, a coffee, tea house Shimio, and then Cafe Lenoir. You can look up them in the Uber.
Yeah, I'm not aware of them. This is for any new application that comes before us. We're requiring a written plan. You can call the office later on today. This is a new policy that Boston Transportation has asked us to raise with licensees that are using third-party deliveries in certain parts of the city where there's congestion and problems and causing traffic issues.
Yes, ma'am. But I understand that. But my question is, can I get a sample of that kind of letter? Because I've never wrote down that plan for the city of Boston. And second of all, as long as they're meter parking, the double parking issue will be always occurred by all the people who try to park, because they have to block the first lane to wait until all the following cars disappear to move to the other lane, so they can start literally parallel parking. So it's not only us, but all the people who want to park on the meter parking will cause the same problem.
Okay, so that's an issue that we have to work through. I suggest, why don't you reach out to our office and we can talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, Mr. Kim, you can reach out to our office and we can work through how to submit that plan to us and to Boston Transportation Department and how to start that conversation.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Any further questions from the board? Board will take these matters under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Calling item number 3, Massachusetts Fine Wines and Spirits, LLC, doing business as The Crossing Wine and Spirits, located at 37 Temple Place. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Jennifer Mason to Daniel Faries, who is present on behalf of the licensee.
Hi, good morning. Attorney Trish Farnsworth with Lawson and Whiteson in Boston. Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Attorney Green. With me is Dan Faris, who's the proposed manager. He's experienced, has more than 10 years in retail management and has been with Total Wine since 2016. A Mass resident, US citizen, and is familiar with the rules and regulations. But he's here and can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Faris. What is your experience in the food and beverage industry?
So I've been employed with Total Wine since 2016. Been an assistant store manager in that capacity, and I have that's my experience in specialty retail in the food and beverage industry.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No questions.
Yeah, no questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Great, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Calling item number 4, Trillium at Farnsworth LLC, doing business as Trillium, located at 47 Farnsworth Street. Holder of a farmer brewery and winery pouring license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Catherine Nan Brackett to Sarah Vasilevsky. Attorney John Cannell. Attorney Cannell.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Tyler Hensler from Upton, Cannell and Devlin. Here on behalf of Trillium at Farnsworth LLC for a change of manager. With me today is Sarah Vasilevsky. Sarah is a U.S. citizen. She is a Massachusetts resident. She's familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol. And she has experience in the industry. Sarah is here to provide more detail into her experience. Sarah, take it away.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah. So I've got experience in the food and beverage industry since roughly 2015, working in both a server bartender and hosting roles, and then phasing into more guest-based facing and managerial experience. Most recently have been in assistant general manager position prior to this role. For 3 years over in the Prudential, so familiar with larger scale operations and working with the city of Boston, and now fully settled into my role at Trillium Brewing Company as general manager.
Great, that's all we have. Happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, attorney. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. I don't have any questions at this time.
No questions for me.
None for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 5, Bespoke Hospitality LLC, doing business as Cambria, located at 6 West Broadway in South Boston. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Brett Fodeman to Eusebio Azevedo Jr. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning, excuse me, good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the licensee. With me and with us this morning, Eusebio Azevedo, who is a longtime owner or operator of a number of restaurants in the city of Boston, approved by this board, and actually in the city of Somerville as well. To my knowledge, Eusebio has not been a manager on licenses in the past, but he has been owner and operator of a number of restaurants, as I suggested, approved by this board, very familiar with the rules and regulations of the board, a U.S. citizen and a Mass resident, and we are certainly happy to take any of your questions this morning.
Thank you. I'd like to dig a little bit more into what his experience is at other restaurants and what his role is going to be here exactly. How many hours a week he's going to be spending here, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sorry. Eusebio, can you elaborate a little bit just on your other places you've owned and operated and what your role will be at this site going forward?
Sure can. Good morning, Ms. Joyce. I've owned and operated restaurants in Boston for over 20 years. Currently, I'm spending about 45 hours a week at the restaurant. And I'm a hands-on manager, so I'm there pretty much every day.
Okay, how long have you been there?
I've taken over operations in May 2022.
Mr. Fodeman, who was the manager of record, was a business partner of Mr. Azevedo at the time in question. So he's familiar with the operations going through and was, by the time we got the filings before you, of course, it was a time delay, but in any event, he's well qualified. His last major restaurant just before, well, at the time of the marathon bombings was the Forum Restaurant on Boylston Street, which of course was destroyed in the bombings, never reopened. I think it's presently reopened as Cane's Fried Chicken or someplace like that. And they have a, what's the barbecue place in Somerville, Ayers?
We own Southern Kin Cookhouse in Somerville, and we also own Link and Nod in the South End.
South End, I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Okay, so are you aware that we've had some issues with the manager of record at this location over the last year? There's
I
been an
do.
absent manager of record, absentee manager of record. There's been unlicensed entertainment. We could never find out who was in charge.
Yes, I am familiar with that. Mr. Brad Foreman was a business partner of mine. He is still a 40% owner of the restaurant. Mr. Foreman moved to South Carolina and never really told the other partners about this. And unfortunately, we had to hear from the board that a manager of record has to be a Massachusetts resident. And Mr. Foreman never really bothered to do anything about it. And inevitably, I had to take over operations of the restaurant.
Okay. Okay, so you'll be responsible for the day-to-day operations, and you stated that you'll be there 45 hours a week.
That's right, ma'am. We also have a new general manager on the property right now that started about a month and a half ago. The issue why I want to be the manager of record instead of this general manager is because the labor market right now is very tough and people come and go. And, you know, because I am part owner, I want to be the one on the license.
Okay. And where do you live?
I live in Brookline.
Brookline, okay. All right, thank you. At this point, I don't have any more questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 6, Ambridge Hospitality LLC, doing business as the Embassy Suites Hotel located at 207 Porter Street in East Boston. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Dominic Smart to Kevin J. Reddington II, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Kevin J. Reddington II is present.
Thank you, Mr. Reddington. Chairman Joyce, if you want to go through the manager.
Yeah, let me just check. Mr. Reddington, are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes, I am.
What is your experience in the food and beverage industry?
I have 20 plus years of experience in the food and beverage industry. I've been a director of food and beverage since 2015. This is my third property as a director of food and beverage. We're just requesting a transfer of manager. Dominic Smart has moved out of the state, and I've been here for close to 2.5 years, just transfer of manager request.
Okay. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions? I don't have any more.
I do not, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Calling item number 7, Tuscan Kitchen of Boston LLC, doing business as Tuscan Kitchen located at 53 Northern Ave. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Timothy Bean to Charles Wright, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Good morning, Charles Wright.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Wright. I'm just going to go through our standard manager record questions. Are you a citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your experience in the food and beverage industry in general? I know you've been at Tuscan Kitchen for a while.
Been in Tuscan for coming on close to 7 years, been in the industry for over 20, multiple management roles, but have been general manager here for the last 6.
Okay. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of our board, the ABCC, the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us. Commissioner Saxon and Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Thank you. Board will take this under advisement as well.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 8, Vervian Corp. Doing business as COPPA, located at 253 Shawmut Ave in Roxbury. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Jamie Bissonette to Kenneth Oranger. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning, Chairwoman Joyce, Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty and Miller on behalf of the licensee. As Secretary Green said, we're here to change the manager of record from Jamie to Ken Oranger. Ken Oranger has massive amounts of experience in the food and beverage industry throughout Boston and the not only Boston and the surrounding areas, but including national restaurants over the years. He is a Boston resident. He is a U.S. citizen. He's familiar with the rules and regulations of both the Commonwealth, the ABCC, and the Boston Licensing Board for the sale and service of alcohol. This is a part of a larger transition. Ken is taking over and will be overseeing the day-to-day operations of COPA going forward. We want to thank you for your hearing this application today, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Oranger. I have no questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None for me, thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 9, Leinster Group, Inc., doing business as Scholars, located at 25 School Street. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Megan P. Ivers to Kiara Lynn Gutierrez. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the licensee. With me today is a proposed manager of record, Kiara Gutierrez. Kiara is a U.S. citizen, Massachusetts resident, and is familiar with the rules and regulations of this board and the ABCC for the sale of alcohol and service. She's tip certified and has several years of experience in the food and beverage industry, mainly in New York, but now also here in Boston. She's been at Scholars for the past year, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Attorney. Thanks for joining us today, Kiara. Do we have a 24-hour contact number for you? If
We
don't-
should on the on the application. There should be her cell phone number.
Okay. So you've been at Scholars for a year. Are you aware of some of the complaints the board has received regarding gathering, patrons leaving, and loud noise as patrons exit?
Yes, I am aware. At the end of the night, we do our best to, get traffic moving out quickly with people, trying to turn off the music. We have the doors closed. We make sure that people are calling their Ubers or cabs before they exit the building so that everyone's just ready to go instead of crowding up at night. My staff and I all go out there and make sure that people are not crowding the streets and standing in the street and making loud noises. We do our best.
Okay. How many nights a week are you there?
5.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
Nothing additional for me, thank you.
No questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 10, GMRI Inc. doing business as the Olive Garden Italian Restaurant located at 11B Allstate Road in Dorchester. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Karam Kosla to Kenneth Broslat Lemus Galicia, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Hi, I'm present. My name is Kenneth Lemus.
Thank you for being with us. Chairman Joyce, if you would like to go through the manager record questions.
Yes, thank you. Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes, I am.
And where do you live? Sorry.
I live in Quincy currently.
Okay. And what is your experience in the food and beverage industry?
So I have worked on the food and beverage industry since 2016. And so since then I have experience, dealing with alcohol and food service.
Okay, thank you. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of our board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you very much. I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None for me, thank you.
No other questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 11, Equinox SC Boston Inc. doing business as Blue, located at 4 Avery Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Curtis Duffy to Lindsay Carden, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lindsay.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Chairman Joyce, would like to go through manager of record.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Lindsay. Are you a citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes, I am.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I do. I was in the food and beverage industry for 10 years.
Okay, and are you familiar with the rules and regulations of our board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None for me, thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 12, 154 Maverick LLC, doing business as Maverick House Tavern, located at 154 Maverick Street in East Boston. Holder of a common victular 7-day neighborhood restricted all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the DBA of the licensed business from Maverick House Tavern to 154 Station. Attorney Andrew Upton. Attorney Upton.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for hearing us. With me today are John Tyler, the manager of record, and the LLC manager, as well as corporate counsel Scott Adams. This is a simple change of DBA to the name 154 Station. As we discussed with the board at the August 15th informational hearing, Andres Yaramillo will run the restaurant as a consultant. He will have no ownership. He is only consulting. We have submitted his consulting agreement to the board for your reference. John Tyler, the LLC manager, and the approved manager of record will remain on premises and in control of the operations and sale and service of alcohol. The restaurant is built out, staff is hired, and they are ready to open. We do understand certain individuals are pursuing allegations or claims involving Mr. Tyler or the entities involved in the restaurant, but we do not believe this is the forum to address those. We believe the standard here should be the appropriateness of the name, which is simple and descriptive. But of course, we defer to the board and are glad to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Attorney Upton. Is Andres here?
No, I don't believe Andres is here.
So I want to dig in a little bit to what is the role of Andres? I know it's a consulting agreement. I read the consulting agreement. What is the role of his entity?
He is a consultant, similar to an employed general manager.
Okay, so Mr. Tyler is going to be running the day-to-day operations of the restaurant.
Mr. Tyler will be, yes, supervising Mr. Yaramillo in the operations, but the actual cooking, and supervising of the staff and stuff will be done by Andres Jaramillo, as any employed general manager would do.
Okay, and so Maverick 154. And through Maverick 154, Mr. Tyler will be getting all the profits from the alcohol sales.
Yes, he will.
So just going over this one more time, I know there was a informational hearing before I became chair of this board, but the licensee is 154 Maverick LLC, right?
Yes.
The consultant is 154 Station Inc. And that's Andres, and he's receiving a consulting fee. He is acting as a general manager.
That is correct. And Scott Adams, can you confirm that? Are we on the right track here?
Yes, I believe the entity that Mr. Yaramil formed is incorporated. I believe it's Station 154 Inc. or 154 Station Inc. There were reasons for putting it into a corporate body as opposed to a personal contract with him as a consultant. But it is a consulting agreement for the rebranding and renovation of the restaurant site.
Thank you.
We do anticipate that in the beginning he will be involved in the management of the personnel, the menu, making sure that the renovations and the rebranding go according to plan.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No questions for me. Thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? I see a hand raised by Ms. Morganite. You may please provide your testimony. You'll have 2 minutes.
Yes, you were very clear at the last hearing that you wanted Andre to participate in this hearing. I'm concerned that he's not participating.
Thank you.
And I guess for the record, I am an owner of 154 Maverick LLC.
Thank you, Ms. Morganite. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Calling item number 13, Flatbread Boston Landing LLC, doing business as Flatbread Company located at 76 Guest Street in Brighton. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to pledge the license to Newburyport 5-cent Savings Bank. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Sorry.
No, correct. You gave me a heads up on this one. My apologies. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
I don't see anyone here. I do know, I mean, the confusion is I represented this entity when they first opened a number of years ago. I reached out to see if they wanted me to handle this since my name was on it, and they suggested they were going to do it themselves. But I do know, I mean, I would hate to see them lose the opportunity. This is a simple pledge for a loan with the Newburyport 5-cent Savings Bank. I did not file the application. I can only hope that the appropriate documents were filed with you. And if they were, I mean, I can certainly answer any questions. This is simply a loan, and the pledge is to secure that loan.
No worries. Chairman Joyce, would you like to take a second call on this one and see if we can reach the licensee?
Yes, thank you.
And I'll reach out to them now too. Thank you.
Thank you. So will our office. We'll take a second call. Calling item number 14, K&K Restaurant Group, Inc., doing business as Estella, located at 49 Temple Place. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to provide bottle service on their licensed premise. Who is present on behalf of the applicant? Is anybody present on behalf of Estella? We will take a second call on this item as well. Calling item number 15, Chilton Club, located at 150 to 152 Commonwealth Ave. Holder of a club all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers directors. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
My name is Carol Bliss. I'm the General Manager, Chief Operating Officer of the Chilton Club.
I have been here 5 years, and it's our annual change of officers and directors after our annual meeting.
Thank you for joining us today, and I don't have any questions for you. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None for me, thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
And you. Calling item number 16, Monica's Trattoria on Prince Inc., doing business as Monica's Trattoria, located at 67 Prince Street. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers of the corporation. Secondly, has petitioned for a change of stock interest. And lastly, has petitioned to change the conditions on the license from all alcoholic beverages to be served only in conjunction with meals, no bar, and closing hour on Friday through Sundays midnight and Monday through Thursday 11 p.m. to only condition number 3, closing hour on Friday through Sundays midnight and Monday through Thursday 11 p.m. Attorney Bill Ferrullo. Attorney Ferrullo.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, members of the board. I'm here on behalf of Monica's Trattoria Prince Inc. Present with me today are Elisa Mendoza, also Amanda McQueen, who's the approved manager, and Frank or Francisco Mendoza. We're here before you on some administrative matters, starting with the fact that all of the shares of this corporation were held by Patrick Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza placed those shares into a trust back a couple of months ago. That trust, which we have submitted to you, has beneficiaries, which are his family members, being his wife, his son, and 3 minor children, all of which are included in our application. In addition, Mr. Mendoza also resigned as director, president, treasurer, and clerk of the corporation. Those positions are now being held by Elisa Mendoza as president and director, Matthew Mendoza as treasurer and director, and Francisco Mendoza as the secretary clerk. Those are the corporate changes. In addition thereto, we would like to rectify a matter that's been actually submitted to the board back in 2019, which is the history to this is that the restaurant received its first liquor license, which was a wine and malt license back in 1999, when it was known as Monica's Pizzeria. At that time, it had the restrictions of the provisos that were read into the record by Attorney Green. And then subsequent to that, in 2014, Monica's was able to obtain a lease for the restaurant next or adjacent to the original restaurant. The original restaurant had 18 seats. This allowed them to do an expansion and a renovation to a 49-seat restaurant. And in 2016, they applied for and received an all alcohol license for that premises. When that application was made, it did show that there was a small bar on what we call an upper level. It's only a 2-step up on the original side of the restaurant. During the course of the renovation, because of limited space there, they moved it to the lower level and created a bar with 6 seats. When the license was issued and then the renewal in 2017 was issued, it was noted that it still carried the 18-seat restriction that was the old license, the old premises, and it also carried the 3 provisos that were imposed on the beer and wine license. I wrote a letter to this board on October 1st of 2019 because just prior to that, inspectors of the board had gone out for a routine inspection and pointed out that the license contained the provisos as mentioned about no bar. We notified the board that this seems to be a carryover from a license that was turned in on the beer and wine license when the new all out license was issued. So we'd like to remedy that. We're not changing the hours. The hours have been the hours that we've operated under since the trattoria changed over from the pizzeria to the trattoria, and we'll maintain those hours at the present.
Thank you, attorney. Thanks for explaining that. That does clear up some of the conditions that are holdovers from that we see on other licenses as well. Suddenly, there's a lot of people involved. Before, there was one person that was 100% owner of this license, but can you just explain a little bit more what the relationship is with the officers and the trust with the day-to-day operations of the restaurant?
Yeah, yes. What's happened since Patrick Mendoza is no longer at the restaurant is that his wife, Lisa, who has become the corporate president, has now taken on more of a day-to-day role with the restaurant itself. And as the corporate president, she has that decision-making role. Amanda McQueen, who is our approved manager by this board recently, has the day-to-day operation, is working closely with her on that. And Francisco Mendoza, her brother-in-law, has taken a role in the kitchen until additional chef is hired for the location to replace Patrick. So she's involved in day-to-day operation. Her son, Matthew, who's 21, is finishing his senior year of college. And when he does, he'll have a much more active role in the restaurant come this spring.
Thank you. Attorney, we were trying to get in touch with you before the hearing, so could you follow up with our office after this hearing? We just have a couple of things to go over with you.
Yes.
At this time, I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Curran?
No questions for me. Thank you.
Nothing further from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 17, Regina Pizzeria at Fenway Inc., doing business as Regina Pizzeria, located at 1330 Boylston Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from 1330 Boylston Street in one room on street level with kitchen, prep area, and storage in the rear, to in one room, 1,583 square feet on street level with dining of 25, the kitchen, prep area, and storage in the rear. In addition, there is a 404 square foot outdoor seasonal May to December patio on private property with seating for 22, with the same closing hour as indoors. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning. This is Steve Napolitano, licensed administrator for Pizzeria Regina Inc. We're basically just trying to legalize a patio that's been there for almost 10, or probably 10 years. It was originally the Upper Crust location 8 years ago, Pizzeria Regina took it over. And we've been running that 400 square foot patio since, but just came to realize that we should have been gotten a use of premise permit for that, which we did. And we just applied to rectify the license. So it is legalized correctly now.
Are you still working on the zoning, or is that complete?
That is complete. That is complete. We have the use of premise permit signed, it's all set.
Your audio is lagging a little bit. It sounds like you said you obtained the use of premise permit and it's all set. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm wearing a mask. I just said procedure on my lips. That's why I'm doing it. But yes, the use of premise permit was issued approximately a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago. Copy has been sent in to to the Office of Licensing Board. And that is what prompted this application to, since we had it, to go ahead and get it legalized, basically.
Thank you very much. I just want to make sure we heard you correctly. Chairwoman Joyce, any further questions for this applicant?
No further questions. Thank you.
Commissioner
No
Carr?
questions for me, thank you. Yeah.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes. Hello again, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Maggie Van Scoy with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, our office would like to defer to the judgment of the board on this matter. We are not aware of any concerns about the patio at this time, and we also worked with the applicant to make sure that the patio closing hour was within the scope of the street, since we know that there are multiple patios immediately abutting this patio as well. And we know that the Civic Association is particular about that point. So with that, we would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 18, Delaware North Boston Flight LLC, doing business as Boston Bruins Bar, located at 100 Terminal Road in East Boston. Holder of an airport all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from full service bar and table seating in Terminal A, space ASA 0717 in Boston Airport on one floor and one room. Seating will consist of 20 stools at bar, including 2 ADA accessible seats, table seating for 37, 13 stools at 2 countertops, and banquette seating for 13, including 1 ADA accessible seat. 2. Full service bar and table seating in Terminal A, space AS2 A0717 in Boston Airport, 1 floor and 1 room. Seating count is 81 plus 6 ADA accessible seats for a total of 87 seats. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning again, Chair Joyce, Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty and Miller in Boston on behalf of the licensee. This application is to correct the description of the premise to reflect the space as it currently is at the Bruins Bar in the airport. By way of background, the space was renovated in 2020 during the height of COVID. During this, or the beginning of COVID, really, as we were all kind of figuring out how to handle everything. During this application process, a placeholder occupancy number was used while we were waiting for the final numbers to be determined and signed off on by both Massport and the state. Additionally, as the work on the space was finalized, additional space for seating was found, and that was added. While the premise is substantially the same as the board approved, it resulted in a slightly different seating number, a slightly different square footage, and we needed to correct the total number of occupancy as it was shown on the license. Undertaking this renovation process while we were all still figuring it out, there was a disconnect between the design and construction team and the licensing team at the licensee and ourselves. We were unaware of the changes that were made and that a final occupancy number wasn't turned in. And as such, we missed those updates and we neglected to update the board. As I've said, we're here just simply to correct the description to make it accurately reflect the space as it currently is. No work has been done, no work is proposed. We want to apologize to the board for the oversight at this point, and we are here now to correct those discrepancies. We want to thank you for hearing this application today, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
No questions from me, thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 19, 186 Harvard Ave Bar LLC, doing business as Han, located at 178 to 188 Harvard Ave in Alston. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from rear entrance from alleyway and emergency exits, 2 rooms, 1st floor and balcony, 1 room and basement for patrons, basement for kitchen and stock, capacity breakdown, total 241, 1st floor 169, basement 72. 2 rear entrance from alleyway and emergency exits, 2 rooms, 1st floor and balcony, 2,945 square feet, seating for 113, basement for kitchen and stock. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the licensee. I don't see Henry Wong on the screen here, but I can describe for you exactly what the application is. If you, on the read through that Attorney Green just made, the bottom line here is that they're removing the lowest level, the basement level, as a patron occupancy level and returning all of that space to storage. So in effect, this reduces the size of the establishment to the one level and the balcony, and reduces the seating capacity as well. So it's a general reduction in size and scope of the establishment. We did reach out to the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, and as a reduction of space, we're not required to do an abutters meeting. And we're certainly happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
No questions for me. Thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. As you heard from the applicant's representation, ONS did not require an abutters meeting. We don't envision any significant impact on the community. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 20, Spin Boston LLC, doing business as Spin, located at 30 Melcher Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from 12,750 square feet of the ground floor and 1,800 square feet of the basement of an 8-story building located at 30 to 40 Melcher Street to 12,750 square feet of the original premises on the ground floor, 2,929 square feet of the expansion premises on the ground floor, and 1,800 square feet of the basement of an 8-story building located at 30 to 40 Melcher Street. Attorney Andrew Upton. Attorney Upton.
Good morning, everyone. Andrew Upton for the licensee. As the board may recall, on August 15th, this board approved an expansion of premises for Spin Ping Pong, which is an existing ping pong bar restaurant, to move upstairs to the former Papagayo space. And the idea was that they would carve a hole in the ceiling and have an internal staircase to go up there. The board approved that with community support. Since that time, the landlord offered a much better deal for the now vacant Mayhew Wine Store space on the left as you face the building. So we withdrew that application from the ABCC. We signed a lease for the Mayhew space. The Mayhew space is considerably smaller, only 2,900 square feet, 100 square feet. It does not open to Summer Street, and it does not abut private residences like the Papagayo space did. So this should be even less impactful than the previously approved upstairs addition. This space is contiguous. We would open the demising wall between the spaces, so there would be much less construction than going up through the ceiling and building a staircase. So overall, it appears to be a better deal for the applicant. The landlord is happy with it, and it's less impactful for the neighborhood. We have spoken to the mayor's office, and they required no additional community process. With that, we're glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None for me. Thank you.
Yeah, none for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. During the community process, where the applicant was expanding into the Papagayo space, the applicant worked well with the abutters in the Fort Point Neighborhood Association. ONS is unaware of any community concerns about the shift in plans, and no further community process was deemed necessary by our office. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify? Oh, sorry, Anna, go ahead.
No worries. Thank you. Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 21, FP Restaurant Inc. doing business as Restaurant Bella Vista located at 288 Hanover Street. holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license, has petitioned to change the classification of its license to a wine, malt beverages, and liqueurs license pursuant to the authority contained in Chapter 481 of the Acts of 1994. Attorney Carolyn Conway. Attorney Conway.
Good morning, Attorney Green, members of the board. I have with me Carolyn Conway on behalf of the licensee. I have with me today Mr. Frank Pisano, who is the owner of FP Restaurant Inc., together with his son. And, oh, excuse me. And also the manager of record. We're looking today to upgrade the license from a beer and wine to a beer, wine, and cordial. Bella Vista Restaurant has been on Hanover Street for 37 years, is a well-known and beloved figure on the restaurant. Unfortunately, there was a fire on the roof that has forced the restaurant to close and to do repairs and renovations. And as part of that, we're looking to reopen new and going forward in the restaurant. We're looking to add cordials to the license as well. We have appeared and received support from the North End Waterfront Residents Association and also the North End Neighborhood Council. Are both in favor. I know that you got an email, I think this morning, from Victor Bronya of the Residents Association in support. So we're looking to reopen. It's been a long haul trying to get open, but we're looking to reopen hopefully in the next couple of weeks and go back online on Hanover Street.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that explanation, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Pisano. I do hope the opening goes well. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No questions. Thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm Sierra D'Amico with the Office of Neighborhood Services. Applicant worked well with the community. They did receive a letter of support from NURA. And at this time, we'd like to defer to the board's judgment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sierra. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 22, Bar Taco Fenway LLC, doing business as Bar Taco, located at 100 Van Ness Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the location of the licensed business from 100 Van Ness Street, Suite 106 to 1321 to 1341 Boylston Street. Premises consist of one large room on ground floor comprised of dining area with bar, storage, and office space with kitchen and bathrooms in rear, 2,984 square feet, together with a seasonal April to November outdoor patio on private property with 20 seats. Indoor closing hour 2 a.m., outdoor closing hour 11 p.m. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the licensee. I know Kelsey Neas was with us earlier. Here she is. She's back with us. Bar Taco Fenway was approved by this board earlier this year. This is a housekeeping matter in which the address, it's an also known as situation, but in order to be fully compliant with the lease and the other documents regarding this license, we're asking to change to the Boylston Street address, which is immediately adjacent to the site, but this is the address that the lease had and the landlord had, et cetera. So there is a misprint on today's form. It's not 41-1321, but the new address is 1321-1341 Boylston Street. So this parcel is kind of sits on the corner, and the proper address is the Boylston Street address. So we'd like to have that approved so that we can connect the dots, if you will, on all the other documentation. Other than that, no changes from what the board approved, from the management, the style of operation, no changes whatsoever.
Thank you, attorney. I have no questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None from me. Thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Maggie Vanskoy with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, we'd like to defer to the judgment of the board on this matter. Just coming on to say that since this is a simple housekeeping issue, we did not require any community process for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Yeah, thank you. And are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement, and we will correct the misprint before this goes any further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Kelsey.
you. Calling item number 23.
I'm glad you're going to get our parking back.
Make sure everyone is still on mute. Thank you. Calling item number 23, the Crab Shack Corp. doing business as the Crab Shack, located at 950 American Legion Highway in Hyde Park. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Nightlight Cafe LLC, doing business as Nightlight Cafe, located at 89 Charles Street. Premise consists of 850 square feet of restaurant space on the lower level, 2 means of egress, one in the front, one in the back. Gennaro Riccio, manager, closing hour 12 a.m. Attorney Elizabeth Pisano. Attorney Pisano.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicant, Nightlight Cafe. This application is for a transfer of beer, wine, and cordials license and change of location to 89 Charles Street. With me today is Gennaro Riccio. He is the sole owner and proposed manager of record. The concept of this new restaurant is designed to feature small tapas plates, raw bar items, handcrafted cocktails, and an extensive wine list. The public need has been historically established. This place used to be R2, and they had a liquor license, but it was transferred to another location. The owner has plans to redesign the interior and update it with new high-quality fixtures and a seating capacity of 34 inside only. The idea is that this restaurant will complement the charm of historic Beacon Hill and create a comfortable and curated atmosphere that neighbors and visitors will come for weeknight meals, cocktails, and special occasions. We are not asking for live entertainment. It's going to be background music only at conversational level. As a way of background, Gennaro is born and raised in Boston, and his family owns several restaurants in the North End. He's grown up in the restaurant industry. He has over 15 years of experience. He's the owner of Florentine and Cafe Amaro, which are 2 successful places that haven't had any issues or violations in the past. We met with the Beacon Hill Civic Association and also held the abutters meeting at the same time on June 7th. For a lengthy but beneficial meeting where we listened to and came to an agreement on many of their concerns relating to trash pickups, delivery, closing times, and things of that nature. We're asking for a 12 a.m. closing on Fridays and Saturdays, and we've verbally come to an agreement with the association to close earlier on weeknights. I requested the good neighbor agreement in writing, but we haven't received it yet. We're still waiting up on that. Excuse me. Gennaro is also the proposed manager of record. He's a U.S. citizen, a Massachusetts resident, and is familiar with the rules and regulations relating to the sale of alcohol for this board and also the state. And as I've explained, he has an extensive experience in the food and beverage industry. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Thank you for that helpful explanation. Is Mr. Riccio here? I just don't see him on my screen.
He should be. Saw him.
Yeah, I'm present.
Oh, I see you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. How many hours a week will you be at this location?
I'll be there over 40 hours a week.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Kern?
No questions for me, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, hello again, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Maggie Vanskoy from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We'd like to defer the judgment of the board at this time. We held an abutters meeting for this application on May 9th. There were concerns raised about the they were initially going for a 1 a.m. closing hour, I believe. Now they've worked with the community to bring that back to midnight. So we haven't heard any other concerns about the midnight closing hours, just about the 1 a.m. This applicant, as mentioned, met with the Beacon Hill Civic Association Zoning and Licensing Committee on June 7th, and the Beacon Hill Civic Association Board has subsequently voted in non-opposition of this application. So with that, we'd like to defer the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 24, BAM Hospitality LLC, doing business as Fenway Marriott Residence Inn, located at 121 Brookline Ave. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Good Tacos LLC, doing business as Naco Taco and Good Company, located at 100 Hood Park Drive in Charlestown. Description of the premise is as follows: on one floor of commercial building, approximately 5,519 square feet of contiguous space. Good Company located at the left of the space with entrance located at the far left. Approximately 1,138 square feet with bar seating for 18 patrons, bar dining for 16 patrons, dining area 1 for 6 patrons, and dining area 2 for 5 patrons. Total indoor seating capacity for Good Company is 45, with an annual outdoor patio, weather permitting, located on private property for 16 patrons. Naco Taco to be located at the right of the space with entrance located at the far right. Approximately 1,648 square feet with bar seating for 26 patrons, bar dining for 20 patrons, and dining area 1 with 44 patrons. Total indoor seating capacity for Naco Taco, approximately 90. Another annual outdoor patio, weather permitting, located on private property for 14 patrons. Total indoor seating, 135. Total outdoor seating, 30. Bathrooms located at the rear of the public-facing space. Contiguous kitchen, storage, and back of house located in rear of space, connecting Good Company and Naco Taco. Contiguous space not accessible to the public. 2 entrances and 5 exits, closing hour 2 a.m. indoors, 12 a.m. outdoors. Seth Friedis, manager. And lastly, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license to Hood Park LLC. Attorney Leslie Delaney Hawkins. Attorney Hawkins.
Thank you, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Leslie Delaney Hawkins with the law firm of Prince Lobel on behalf of the applicant. With me today is Seth Friedis, one of the owners and the proposed manager of record, as well as Alex Tannenbaum, another one of the owners of the entity. As the board may recall, we were before you in February with this same application. At that time, we were applying for any available restricted license. Obviously, there was nothing available. The board approved pending availability. So we have entered into a purchase and sale agreement to purchase a license and transfer it to this location. As previously presented, this is a dual concept sit-down neighborhood restaurant with Naco Taco at one side with a dedicated entrance and Good Company at the other side. What we're seeking and what we were previously approved for is a 2 a.m. closing hour indoors and a 12 a.m. midnight closing on the outdoor patio on private property. Naco Taco is a Mexican concept. There's currently also a Naco Taco in Central Square and a number of food trucks. And Good Company is a curated American cuisine with pairings to our wine and cocktail list. As the executive secretary read into the record, Good Company will have seating for 45 patrons indoors, 16 outdoors, and Naco will have seating for 90 patrons indoors and 14 outdoors. We will not be seeking any live entertainment. This is a sit-down restaurant, which will have televisions and background music only. Regarding the public need, this is located in the new Hood Park development in Charlestown. As the board is aware, there's approximately 1.8 million square feet of office space, 335 residential units, and 150 hotel rooms, activating what was previously an unutilized lot. We believe that the concept that we're proposing, coupled with the new development, establishes a public need in this neighborhood. The applicant has other establishments throughout Massachusetts, and there's no question as to their character and fitness. As the proposed manager of record, Seth is experienced in the food and beverage industry, including management positions at Contessa, Bar Volpe, Alchemy, and other similar high-end dining establishments. He is a U.S. citizen, a resident of the Commonwealth, is tip certified, and is familiar with the rules and regulations of the board, the ABCC, and the laws as they pertain to the sale and service of alcoholic beverages. This will be his full-time position. He will be at the licensed premise a minimum of 35 hours a week. Finally, we are seeking a pledge of the license to the landlord as collateral for the loan, which was the funds were lent to the applicant for the purchase of the license by the landlord. We held an abutters meeting earlier this year, hosted by the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, and also appeared before the Charlestown Neighborhood Council. The Neighborhood Council did vote to support the 2 a.m. close on weekends and an earlier close on weeknights. We are still seeking the 2 a.m. close for 7 nights a week to provide flexibility. Again, this is a sit-down restaurant with no live entertainment located in an entirely commercial building. There are no residences above. And the 2 AM is what we previously proposed and were approved for. Obviously, demand from clientele will dictate if we are open to 2 AM, but we would like to have that flexibility. And we look forward to being active members of the Charlestown community. Regarding any deliveries, obviously the vast majority of our clientele will be sit down because of the way Hood Park was constructed. It is entirely on private property with ample pickup and drop off spaces for these businesses. So we don't anticipate this being a concern for the flow of traffic. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Freitas. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Curran.
None for me, thank you.
None from me either. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Background information on the community process, as you heard from the applicant's representation, there wasn't a butters meeting held that was positive. Then the applicant went on to meet with the Charlestown Neighborhood Council, who offered to write a letter of support if the 2 AM would be restricted to just the weekends. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 25 had been called previously. Moving on to item number 26, the Red Apple Farm LLC doing business as Red Apple Farm located at 100 Hanover Street. Has applied for a farmer winery wine only pouring license to be exercised on the above in one room on ground floor of 100 Hanover Street with installs 3A to 4B, comprised of cider bar and retail area, walk-in freezer and storage in rear, together with fermenting equipment in the rear, approximately 800 square feet. Manager Albert Rose, closing time 11 PM, Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the applicant Red Apple Farm LLC. With me this morning with us, Al and Nancy Rose, owner operators. Mr. Rose is the proposed manager of record. This is a matter related to a recent hearing in which the location for this is the Boston Public Market. We had a recent hearing in which the public market amended its license to delete this space within their building so that the Roses could make this application for the farmer winery pouring license. It's basically for their cider product, as the name of their business might indicate. And they've been a long time, very important part of the Boston public market, very popular. And this application would allow them to serve their cider products on premise now that we've removed them from the other license which exists at the public market. So it's really removing that space so that we could then reapply before you for the pouring rights. And that is the application. No other changes to their operations, and we're certainly happy to answer any questions. Mr. Rose is a longtime owner operator. He's been running this business in the site since the public market opened. He has ample experience in the food and beverage business. He's a U.S. citizen, a Mass resident. As to community outreach, Cheryl Cronin, who's the executive president and executive of the market, personally reached out to Councilor Flynn, to the mayor's office, and no community process was required, since this was basically a continuation of this longtime use, with the simple addition of the pouring ability for their cider products. And we're certainly happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Rose. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None for me, thank you.
None from me either. Thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 27, Welcome Buddy Convenience Corporation, doing business as Welcome Buddy Convenience, located at 4196 Washington Street in Roslindale, has applied for a retail package store wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above first floor retail store of 2,400 square feet on the corner of Washington Street and Basil Street with refrigeration and freezers at the rear of the store. Manager Lena Gantus, closing time 12:30. Attorney Anthony Ross. Attorney Ross.
Good morning, Attorney Green and Madam Chair and members of the board. Attorney Anthony Ross with me here is the owner, applicant, and proposed manager, Lena Gantos. This is a proposal for the Welcome Buddy Convenience, which is literally a local corner convenience store. Mrs. Gantos has been a manager at the location since 1992 and an owner with her late husband. The proposal here simply to add, in response to numerous and frequent requests from customers, the ability to sell beer and wine products. The plan is to add 2 beer coolers to the existing well-stocked, well-appointed store. We've submitted some photographs, and 2 shelves with wine products. We conducted, with the assistance of the mayor's office, a butters meeting on August 9, to which the members of the Healy Cummins Neighborhood Association were invited. And we'd be happy to answer any further questions from the board. Mrs. Gantos is a U.S. citizen and Massachusetts resident. She is familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws in the Commonwealth regarding liquor sales. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Ross. We'll see if there are any questions from the board.
Thank you. So how much of your current floor retail space will you be removing to put beer and wine in?
It's hi, this is Lena. It's 10%, I would say 10%.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any questions, Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran.
None for me, thank you.
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Diana Browncheck with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. As stated, we did hold an abutters meeting on August 9th, where the Healy to Cummins Neighborhood Network was invited to attend. We had 5 abutters join us that evening. All were in very much support of this license application, given the fact that Lena has been very supportive in the neighborhood, reaching out to the community, has always kept the store very clean, and was open to any comments in terms of placement for the products. At this time, we defer judgment to the board.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jordan Frias here from Boston City Councilor Ricardo Arroyo's office. We'd like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 28, Cantina Hospitality LLC, doing business as Taco Bell Cantina, located at 1222 Commonwealth Ave in Alston, has applied for a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above. Premises is a 2,204 square foot restaurant on 1 floor and in 2 rooms. Dining area with seating for 34 patrons in the front, 2 restrooms, kitchen, office, and storage in rear. Manager Kayla Binger. Closing time 3:30 a.m. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you again, Secretary Green. Good morning again, Chair Joyce, Commissioners. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty & Miller on behalf of the applicant. The application before you today is for both a common victualler license and a new wine and malt beverage license for a new Taco Bell Cantina in the former Great Scott space on Com Ave in Alston. I am joined today by Kayla Binger, the proposed manager of record, the project architect, Bob Medeiros from Upland Architects, Jim Rooney and Israel Vega from the applicant, as well as many other folks from the applicant's team here. This representation is, shows you how they treat opening a new location. They do so with maximum effort to open a quality and well-run establishment. This applicant, as a statement of their fitness and character, currently has multiple locations in Boston, including a CV in South Boston on West Broadway, and 2 locations in Brookline that currently hold wine and malt beverages licenses in addition to their common victualers. They've operated successfully and without incident since 2020 in the Boston market and even longer nationally. Taco Bell's concepts and offerings have evolved over the years. They are not what I remember from back in my college days. They offer broad and customizable options, allowing their customers to find something that meets their needs from either a traditional taco or burrito to something that is healthy with vegetarian options in a fast casual environment. The cantina, which is the style of restaurant they're proposing here, is a fast casual concept that offers those affordable food options in a unique setting. They differ from a typical Taco Bell location because they focus on unique murals and artwork and decor, creating a welcoming environment for their patrons to enjoy those meals. As they're unique to each location. The South Boston location has different artwork than either one of the two Brookline locations, for example. As part of the community process for this, which ONS will speak more to, we heard from the residents in the area about the history of this space, the performing arts venue that it was, the Great Scott, and that they wanted local artist involvement in that artwork in what will be displayed at the premises. We have committed to incorporating local artists and artwork into the space with a dedicated area. I submitted a presentation to the board. It calls out that area specifically set aside for local artists and artwork. We're working through currently how best to incorporate that and include that going forward, but that will be a part of our premise. Approval of this application will add a late night food option to an area beyond the donuts, pizza, and burgers that are currently offered in that area, something that's a little more healthy and a little more customizable. It would also activate what has been a long vacant prominent corner that this space has laid dormant since the Great Scott closed, I believe, in 2020. As I said, Cantina Hospitality is a franchisee of Taco Bell. In addition to their locations in Mass, they operate 70+ locations in 4 other states. They are a good operator. They bring benefits to their community above and beyond just having a quality run establishment in the area. They are proposing to take over the former Great Scott. The premises is, as Secretary Green said, approximately 2,200 square feet with 34 seats, with a total occupancy of 49. The proposed hours here for alcohol sales are 7 days a week until 2 a.m. They propose selling food Sunday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 3 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. There's no outdoor seating proposed, and the only entertainment here will solely be background music. As I said, I'm joined by Kyla. She is joining us under the tag iPhone. Kyla, can you wave for us? Thank you. She is the proposed manager of record. She is currently an approved manager of record in the applicant's Coolidge Corner location. As such, she has experience in the food and beverage industry. She's been a store manager and a regional manager for more than 10 years in various establishments. She is a U.S. citizen. She is a resident of Dorchester. She is familiar with the laws of the Commonwealth and both the rules of the ABCC and the Boston Licensing Board for the sale and service of alcoholic beverages. We would like to ask the board to consider both a common victualer's license and a separate wine and malt beverages license. Consider both applications for this location going forward. We want to thank you for hearing this application today. We're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. You clarified the hours of operation just as it popped in my head. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining us.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you for joining us, Kayla. I don't have any questions right now, but I reserve the right to ask questions after everything else.
Same for me.
Same.
Thank you. With that, I will ask if there are any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Frank Mendoza here, Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, Austin Brighton liaison. We did host an abutters meeting for this applicant as part of their community engagement process. It wasn't significantly attended. There were a few abutters there who had some questions that the applicant was able to answer. The applicant did also present to the Alston Civic Association, whose president, Tony Disidoro, is on to speak after myself. The ACA does have a couple of notes that they wish to raise towards the board, but at this time, our office would like to defer to the judgment of the board at this time. Thank you.
Frank, I just want to correct one thing. Though we have reached out to the ACA, and Tony can speak more to this.
Yes, good morning, Attorney Green.
We're not able to meet with them.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Attorney Miller, and I do see a hand raised from Anthony Disidoro, so yes, you may please provide your testimony.
Yes, good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, Tony Disidoro representing the Alston Civic Association. First of all, I want to thank Attorney Miller and the proponents and Frank from the Office of Neighborhood Services for reaching out to the ACA early in the summer regarding this proposal. Unfortunately, given the tremendous workload that our community has had and the fact that we were participating in the open street celebration, we did not formally meet in July and August. So there's a timing issue here. The concern is, and we found out kind of late in the process and to no fault of the proponents, that we're talking about really some groundbreaking business models here that really haven't seen themselves in Alston Brighton. As you know, Alston is one of 4 communities with a heavy student population. We have a Planet Fitness proposal that was approved right around the corner from them. They had originally planned to do a pretty much 24-hour-a-day operation, and due to pushback from the community, scaled back their hours of operation big time. Our concern is that, you know, given that it's the old Great Scott location, you know, a 2 a.m. close, given if a beer and wine license is awarded to them, is not a big deal. We severely question how you transition from an establishment with alcohol to stay open for an additional hour to an hour and a half, providing food and having people kind of hang around. We are very much understaffed at BPD District 14. I don't think they would be enthusiastic about hearing about an establishment staying open till 3:30. We do have 1 or 2 establishments in the Harvard Ave area that stay open beyond 2 a.m., but there's very few, and there's some concern here that this 3:30 a.m. request would simply add to the burden of enforcement by Boston Police, and at the same time give encouragement to people to hang around after hours of drinking. So we would kind of refer to the board as to how we might do this. As Attorney Miller stated, they have graciously offered to come to our monthly meeting a week, next Wednesday, I should say, to present their plans formally to the community. So we're just looking for some direction from the board as to how we could proceed with this and come up with a mutually agreeable proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Disidoro. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Any further questions from the board on this matter?
And yeah, sorry. If the board has any other questions, I'll happily listen to them, and then if I can address some of Mr.
Attorney Miller, would there be an objection to deferring until you had the meeting with ACA?
I can talk with my client, but I don't see any major objection, but I would like to confer with them before I make any any commitment.
When do you expect to open here?
We're expecting to open at the beginning of 2024. However, part of the process is they like to, if possible, get at least a common victual license in place prior to moving forward with the investment in construction and other aspects of the project. So that's why we're here before you today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board? And Attorney Miller, was there more you wanted to state on the record?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, we understand some of the concerns that the ACA has. This applicant has experience operating in the later hours. They understand how to, you know, deal with that type of crowd and process those type of transactions. This is not. This is a fast casual concept. That, you know, people are not coming here to hang out. They have systems in place to prevent any sale of alcohol beyond their, you know, the allowed closing hour. whether, you know, if the board grants a wine and malt beverages license at, you know, 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or whatever. But they have the ability and the history to operate that successfully and you know, reasonably without, we believe, without incident. It's something that will add an amenity. The late night food will add an amenity and give people a place to, you know, come grab a bite to eat and then head home in a more sedate way than just the bars letting out and people, you know, all trying to get an Uber and gather. Gives them a place to stop on the something in addition to the burgers and pizza that's currently available at that time in this area.
Thank you, Attorney Miller.
Attorney Green, could I just respond to that? I just want to mention that Frank mentioned the abutters meeting, and he noted that there wasn't a very strong turnout. So we don't know how well it was advertised and who showed up, but we know there was significant pushback for the Planet Fitness proposal right around the corner, and that's what resulted in a change of hours of operation for that establishment. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind as well.
Thank you for that as well, and I'll turn it back to the board one more time. Anything further from the board on this matter? Okay, with that, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will turn for a second call on 2 items that were missed earlier. Has anybody joined us from Flatbread Company, item number 13?
Yes, this is Thomas Keene. I apologize for my tardiness.
Great, thank you very much. Just reading back into the record, item number 13, Flatbread Boston Landing LLC, doing business as Flatbread Company, located at 76 Guest Street in Brighton, holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to pledge the license to Newburyport 5 Cents Savings Bank. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Keene. If you could just please briefly present to the board.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is just a simple modification of our loan. As a result of the modification of the amortization schedule, the bank has requested a pledge of our license.
Thank you for that explanation. We'll turn to the board to see if there are any questions.
Thank you for joining us. No questions.
No questions, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. And are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement as well. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Keene.
Thank you. And again, I apologize for my tardiness.
Thank you. And has anybody joined us on behalf of Estella, item number 14?
Attorney Green, they emailed us and they said they were having difficulties.
I'm back.
Not sure.
I'm
Oh,
in.
perfect.
Oh, hey,
Perfect.
this is
Okay.
George Brandeo, the owner. Sorry about that.
No worries. And thanks, Anna. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Brandeo.
Good morning, good afternoon.
To the record, item number 14, K&K Restaurant Group, Inc., doing business as Estella, located at 49 Temple Place, holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to provide bottle service on their licensed premise. Mr. Brandeo, if you would like to present your proposal to the board.
Yeah, we're just looking to add bottle services to our restaurant lounge to enhance experience and to compete with our other competitors in the area.
Thank you. I'm just looking at our file. I don't know if it's a staff issue, but it says that you attached floor plans. I don't see them in the folder.
Yeah, I sent it to who I was discussing, but I can email that to you all. But it's pretty much the same floor. Pretty much the same floor plan that we have, just certain areas and tables that we would be delivering service to, but technically every table, you know. These are more for like it's not every day that someone wants to come in and just order bottle service, which we do. Alan Iverson comes in and he wants bottle services on a Monday, that's fine. But these are more like for events, maybe brunch parties, or maybe we're doing a Stella Friday night or Stella Saturday night and whatnot. So.
Okay, and so how do you, is there going to be one server per table that has bottle service? Is that how you work it?
Our servers have sections, so unless it's an event and we're working with an event coordinator, they may have bottle service personnel that they may bring in, but our servers are trained for bottle services. I shouldn't be saying this on record, but it was a mistake until you all released that paperwork that, hey, you're supposed to have a bottle service license. We did not know, so we were doing bottle service for a while until the city released, hey, you all are doing something wrong here. You all should have bottle service. It was a paperwork that we received in our email. But it's each server has a section, and in that section, if someone orders a bottle service, they'll bring in the bottle, they'll serve, and then they'll bring the bottle back to the service station and mark it with a pen and with a highlighter and whatnot. So
Okay, so just for clarification, how many tables does each section involve? I'm trying to get at.
it's about four tables. So each servers usually have about 4 tables.
Okay, and then you're saying that so how do they track how much every person drinks? They mark it on the.
So they take the bottle and that person is serving that table as if they're serving. So they're actually serving that person. So the bottle doesn't stay. So that server goes in, it's 4 people. They want they all take a shot of Casamigo Reposado. It's 4 different individuals. And then she's marking on that bottle and the amount, but each individual is going to drink 1 shot at a time.
Okay. Okay, and the bottle's never left unattended?
No, they take the bottle back to the service station and mark it with a Sharpie.
Okay.
So they'll put M1 for people or for guests, that
Sure.
kind of stuff. It's the same thing, the same way they would monitor with regular drinks. It's just more that the bottle service comes in with a flashy light.
Okay. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
I don't, thank you.
Maybe just in the way of a comment, because it sounds like you're doing a little different than a lot of other places have been doing it. But I would be careful to communicate with your customers about how, your server has other tables and that they're going to be taking the bottle away when they're working on other tables. Because I think the bottle service expectation currently in the market is that someone's there with them all the time, kind of ready to serve them. So
that's when we have events and you're doing more of a clubby big night style thing. Then yeah, the bottles girls, they have their own bottle girls that come in. And I shouldn't say girl, but they have a bottle person that comes in and stays there and then is particularly for them. But we have someone who may come in and it'll be like Alvin Kamara and it'll be like, hey, I want 2 bottles of Clase Azul. And that's a different thing. And it'll be like 20 individuals, right? So that's a different thing than it might just be a one night. That's all we're doing is that particular table. It's not like people are just coming into the restaurant and asking for bottle service. That would be more of on an event,
So that's kind of what I'm asking is just make sure that you communicate with your customers that aren't getting that type of service, that let them know they're not getting that type of service, that the bottle is going to be traveling back to the bar, back to the server, and they'll have to kind of work with their server back and forth. That's all. I just don't want.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that part. Yes.
Okay. I don't want that to cause any friction for you and for the customers and for your that kind of, if they have an expectation that bottle service means someone's going to be waiting on them very closely, I hope that you'd let them know that that's not exactly how it's happening, maybe on a less busy night or something like that. That's all. Thank you.
That's understandable.
Any further questions from the board? Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office likes to defer to the judgment of this board. ONS did not conduct a community process for this, but I understand that the applicant's been in contact with the downtown bid. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
Good morning.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. The council would like to go on record in support. We do ask that the applicant continue to work with the abutters and the neighborhood association on any further questions or concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too. Those are all the items before the board today. That will adjourn this morning's hearing. Thank everybody and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.